Hello, Pam DuBois, DMV Real Estate, DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Always happy and grateful you've taken the time out to join us. Thank you so much for being with us today. I have with me special guest Phil Philbin from JK Movers, and he's going to share with us all about moving and what you should do.
Absolutely.
So first, Phil, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with them, a little bit about the company.
Absolutely, and thanks for having me out
You're
here,
welcome.
Pam. Absolutely. So I've been with JK Moving for about 4 years now. I'm originally from Rockville, Maryland, and when I moved back to this area, working for a moving company wasn't necessarily on my radar. I have a history of sales, and I graduated from Wesley College in Delaware. Go Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
To all my Wesley College grads out there. But the moving company slowly crept up the list of jobs that I was looking at. JK Moving is totally not what you would expect as a moving company.
Okay.
The way that, they treat their employees, I quickly saw when doing my research of, the CEO's approval, everything that goes along with, websites like Glassdoor and LinkedIn, seeing the benefits, seeing, everything like that. And, very quickly it came to, my number one, picking a job when I was looking about 4 years ago. And met with everyone there. So just such a great company to work for. And, absolutely. So that's a little bit about me, originally from this area.
Okay. And you guys do long distance, international, pretty much?
Absolutely. Yeah, a little bit about JK Moving. So our CEO, Chuck Kuhn, founded the company about over 35 years ago.
Okay, you've been in business for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. It started at his parents' basement.
Oh, wow.
And great story. I mean, he was 16 years old, and started the company with one truck, 2 employees. And over the past 35 years, we've really focused on customer service, making sure the customer comes first, not cutting corners. And right now, we're the largest independently owned and operated moving company in North America.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Big difference from 35 years ago.
Starting in a basement. Wow.
Absolutely.
That is so neat. So you guys have certifications and awards. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yeah. So we are AMSA recognized as a pro mover. So AMSA is the American Moving and Storage Association. It's a mouthful there. And we've been recognized as the safest fleet under 10 million miles over the past, year after year since I think 2015. 2016, we were the number one independent mover in the country. So that was a massive award there. We're recognized as the number one office mover in the Washington Business Journal. And and absolutely. So we have a ton of certifications also. Omni International Office Mover certification, and also a certification called FEDI, which it's a Federation of International Movers, very reputable organization. And I believe there's only 35 FEDI movers in America, so we're very elite as far as that goes. Yeah,
that's great.
Absolutely.
Wow. And you guys are also 24/7. Tell us about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So we are one of the only movers that if a customer needs something, they can call us any time of day, any time of night, and we will respond to their calls. So we have a 24-hour customer service response team. And so, that just goes towards peace of mind, being able to really cater to what the customer wants also.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you do a lot, or I guess basically all of their relocation estimates, relocation work, is that right?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. So my title is a move consultant, relocation consultant, and what I do is I provide a free, no-cost, in-home estimate. So that's how that's how we make sure that it's an extremely accurate estimate. Yeah, exactly. So I can find out all their needs. We can estimate what they need packed. If it's a local move, long distance move, how much weight they have. Absolutely.
Okay, so you're the one that actually go in there if somebody's thinking about moving or want an estimate or something like that, and you go in there and just kind of go through everything and give them an estimate.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it's a very personal experience. I can really sit down and figure out what their needs are, what matters most. That's something that our company kind of works by. That's saying what matters most to the customer. Is it the armoire? Is it, what is it?
What's important to them?
What's important?
Yeah.
What's sentimentally important? Of course, if there's something high value that we may need to treat a little differently, maybe build a crate for it, something like that.
Okay,
we need to know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's good to know too. And then also you have a moving coordinator. As opposed to you also moving coordinator. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, our moving coordination coordinators. Every job has a individual that is in charge of all their customer service needs.
Okay.
So it's dedicated to their move. Anything they need, any changes along the way, that move coordinator can really change it on the drop of a hat, so to speak. And of course, me being their move consultant, I am still their point of contact.
The whole period. Okay.
Yeah, the whole period. So between me and the move coordinator, the adjustments that need to be made, if we need to do extra packing, if we need to bring something into storage, we can do all that. Change dates.
Okay, that's great. Declutter and storage, so you guys also take things and store it.
Storage is so we have about 1 million square feet in storage.
Oh wow,
that sounds so big, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's true. And we own all of our storage facilities.
Okay.
What a typical mover does when they're talking about storage is they take your items and they put it in their truck. They take it to a self-storage or a warehouse, something like that, where they unload the truck, and when you're ready for it, they pick it up and they take it to you. Yeah, so what we do, we have something called palletized storage. So we come with these big wooden crates, big wooden boxes, and we put all your stuff into these boxes. Lock them shut. We do an inventory when we get everything, and then we put those crates in our warehouse. And then we take them out whenever you're ready for it. So you could be ready for it a year later, months later, a week later, and we take it out, and we wouldn't necessarily be handling the goods when you're not there. Which is huge, because without that, and bringing all the items into a third party storage facility, you can imagine how tricky, or better yet, how non-existent that insurance is. Because they have no idea what's going on in the meantime. We fully insure everything. Which is great. So
in a situation where, let's say, a seller is getting ready to put their house on the market, maybe 4 or 5 months down the road, it makes more sense for them to actually, instead of them putting it into a storage unit, is call you guys and get an estimate and have them come out, have you guys come out and take whatever you can and put it in storage for them. So that way they can declutter and make the place look like, it's ready to go on the market with not a lot of clutter and things like that.
Absolutely.
Store it for like 4 or 5 months.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and there is an additional cost for that, but if you're pricing that up against hiring a stager or buying a house and keeping it empty, the cost is so different. It can get expensive when you're talking about bringing a stager in, like I'm sure and so what we do, and that's part of the walkthrough that we do, that I would do personally, and I always invite the real estate agent to come out, walk around with me, tell me exactly what you need done here. So we can usually it's about a quarter of the house that needs to come out for a standard couple that or somebody who's been living in a house for 30, 40 years. And
lots of stuff.
And it's hard, and a lot of times these moves are so complicated, and it's hard for, you know, the customer to kind of see the big picture.
Right.
You know, we got to get this out. It can be so overwhelming, especially. I have a story that I always tell about a widow that had a, you know, she was so overwhelmed. She lived in Olney, Maryland, and her house was just full of, I wouldn't call it a hoarder, I wouldn't call it really too cluttered, but there was a lot of sentimental stuff there.
Yeah.
And so she was moving to Kansas City to be with her family there, and she just had no idea what to do. She was on the brink of tears the entire time I was in her house. Oh yeah, you know. And I was saying, you know, me and the real estate agent were walking around the house, and you know, the real estate agent was saying, well, this bookshelf needs to go, this needs to go, this da 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 da, and you know, the whole time she was under the impression that she had to, you know,
do it herself
or throw it out, or you know, and it really had her crying like the entire time, and I had to slow it down. I told her, you know, you don't have to throw it out. You know, we can take it, we can move everything out to your new house. Let's take it for, you know, the next few months while your house sells, while they're showing it. And so that's what we did. We took out about a quarter of the house, and, you know, just seeing, you know, that's the best part of my job, is seeing at the end of everything, getting, you know, talking to the customer, talking to that person who just had no idea it could be that simple. You know, had no idea, okay, you know, you're going to come take it out, you're going to put it into these crates, and then, you know, it's going to appear with your stuff in Kansas City, in California, in wherever, you know. And it's a lot easier than it seems. And like I was saying before, I am in those scenarios, I am the point of contact. You know, I take such a one-on-one approach with those customers.
Right, you're able to take away the stress and have them, you know, have some peace and maybe detach from their belongings while it goes in storage.
Absolutely,
right? You know?
And you know, once before they talk to me, they just have no idea, because, you know, the moves where, you know, you have all these different things going on, they only happen once. You know, they really do. I mean, rarely does somebody have to do, you know, a bunch of different things. And, you know, when you're talking to an 80-year-old about, you know, going into storage, hiring a mover, telling them, you know, there's going to be strangers coming into their house. And, you know,
it's a lot of stress.
It's a lot of stress.
Overwhelming.
So, you know, I always explain to them that our guys are background checked, drug tested, and they're also professionally trained. So
that's good.
It's really good. And so we do that for all of our employees, and we also have a training house in Sterling. So it's a full-blown kind of rancher style house, and there's a truck bolted to the ground.
Really?
So so after each employee comes back drug tested, background checked, and after all that goes, they spend a week to 2 weeks with us, and we get to see how they move, how they interact, how they, you know, what are they like what are they like after the first 5 days on the job? You know, are they slowing down? Is it a good fit for both of us? And those are things we need to see before we send them into somebody's house.
That's a great idea. Wow, that's awesome that you do that, because a lot of companies probably don't do something like that.
100%.
Right.
Usually, you know, usually summertime's the crazy time, you know, for movers, for real estate, and typically the hiring process is, you know, giving a gentleman in his 20s a t-shirt saying we need you to lift stuff up, you know, and that's pretty much it. So you really don't know, and you know, the drug testing's huge. You know, it's also you know, background checks. Obviously we want to know that we can verify who's going into a customer's house. Big deal. But also the drugs
that's huge.
Is huge.
And that's kind of cool what you do with the training, 2 weeks of training, actual training, so you can actually look at them and see what they're doing. On-site training.
Because what happens when somebody realizes that, you know, the 4th day on the job that moving might not be for them, that
Right.
they can't do it.
They don't
Well,
wanna
we
do it,
need
right,
we
yeah.
need to find that out while they're in our care
Right.
and not yours. You know,
Right, before you send them out there. for the
absolutely,
customer.
and for
Yeah.
their safety.
Yeah.
Because these guys are, during the week they're working 5 days, 5 to 6 days a week, 8-hour days,
Right.
and it takes a certain type of person
It
to
does.
do that. We pay great. They make a lot of money with us, but they need to be able to do it in a safe manner.
Right,
Yeah.
right, and keep the customer happy through the process, basically,
Yeah.
right? So, long distance, global relocation. You guys do some
Absolutely.
global relocation.
We
also?
absolutely do.
Okay.
Yeah, global relocation. Like I said, we're a member of FEDI, which is one of the most reputable international federations in the world.
Okay.
And for movers, and also we do a ton of government work too.
Okay.
So that kind of ties in with it. We have a relocation company
Okay.
that we call our sister company, Capital Relocation.
Okay.
Cap Relo, and so we can really take a corporate relocation and handle all parts of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah.
So tell us about your new app that you have. Everything that you can do with this new app. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, the app kind of ties into that 24/7 customer service.
Yeah.
And just keeping everything as transparent as possible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the main thing, tracking delivery dates, arrival dates, and things like that. So what we see is what you see.
Okay.
There's no discrepancies there. There's nothing, it's just that transparency. And then also, what we have integrated in the app is a customer service, customer care function that you can talk to us immediately right there. And if you have any changes that you need to make to the app, to the estimate, to the services, we can make that happen so quickly.
Oh, okay.
They can actually press a button, and change, a number of the services right there.
Oh, okay.
With them.
Okay, that's a great feature.
On the
Yeah,
app,
yeah.
absolutely, and it really helps on long distance moves.
Yeah.
When there is a delivery window, as soon as we get a confirmed delivery date, it changes on the app. So there's no.
So they can tell where their stuff is. Yeah.
They can tell, yeah, exactly, the day of the delivery. Yeah, absolutely. And also something I wanted to touch on, Pam, is we have a community farm that we started a couple years ago in Virginia.
Okay.
So it's a 501c3. And it provides children and senior citizens and families that are facing food insecurity with fresh organic fruits and vegetables. It's located in Loudoun County. It's about 150 acres
Oh, wow.
of farmland, so
Yeah.
it's huge. And last year we yielded right around 60,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables, and distributed it all around DC, Virginia, and Maryland.
Oh, wow.
So that's that's just a little side note there about some of the stuff we do.
That's great. But this is for people that need food, I guess, basically.
Absolutely.
Shelters and stuff like that. You provide.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just great. It's great to work for a company that really puts the community. It keeps the community in mind.
Right.
It's not
Giving back.
Giving back. Around Christmas, Thanksgiving, there's so many families that are in need of food, or there's so many food insecurities around here. And being a man of faith that I am, it kind of gives you a good feeling working for a company that takes responsibility in the community.
Yeah, they give back for a company that started out in their basement, right?
Absolutely,
and giving it back. That's awesome. Dash cam, drive cam. Let's talk about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So the dash cams and the drive cams, and it's one of our innovations that goes hand in hand with the app. One of the big things, the big things that comes along with that is that we do not contract out our long distance drivers.
Oh, okay.
So they're driving our trucks. We have our GPS trackers in them. We have our dash cams so we can see what they're doing.
Okay.
And cameras all over the truck. And so what this gives us an opportunity to do, just make sure we know where everything is.
Yeah.
And there's no questions about it, just transparency. Again,
That's
it's
great.
huge.
Yeah.
It's huge
That's
in
great.
the moving industry because a lot of times with kind of the major van lines and other companies, you don't necessarily know where your trailer's hooked up to. You don't know where it is. You don't know who's driving it.
Right.
You don't if it's a contracted driver. You don't know where he is. You don't know if he unhooked from the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's
Didn't
huge.
even think about things like that.
Exactly.
People don't even think about things like that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then, you throw the drug testing in there. Our drivers get drug tested too.
Yeah.
And we also follow a lot of labor laws, the strict Department of Transportation, Highway Patrol laws, labor laws. So they can't be driving for like a 60-hour period nonstop.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot more control about that. On our local moves too, we always we keep the dash cams and drive cams on all of our local trucks too.
Also, okay,
Oh, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
that's actually great because that way you can actually what they're doing, when they're doing that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Basically, being totally transparent is awesome.
Oh,
something
absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd like to share with us as we get closer to time here?
Closer to time, yeah. Well, just our movers, the declutter move,
Yeah.
and
Disposal and recycling.
disposal and
recycling.
recycling. Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've won countless awards with the EPA. So every year we do our part in recycling cardboard, keeping items out of landfills.
Okay.
And and that's just some of the
That's
great things that we've done.
Yeah.
We always try to reuse cardboard, and we have stopped using at this point pretty much altogether styrofoam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that has just been such a, it's just come out
Yeah.
over the past 5 or 10 years that it's just, it's horrible
not
for
good,
the
yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we try to just use paper, recyclable paper, and, keeping as many things out of landfills as we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
great. You sound like a Class A company. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the way from top to bottom, keeping track of everything, and with the training and the employees and things like that. Any other things special you'd like to share with us?
Well, just when it comes to JK Moving, if you have anyone that's in your family that's kind of local to this area and they're looking for employment, I would definitely recommend checking out JK Moving. Do your research, look online, apply with us, and you may find that JK Moving has a perfect position for you, and you may it may just fit in perfectly, and it's a great company to work for also. And in particular, if for real estate agents and people moving, call me. And I can absolutely provide an in-home, free, no stress, no pressure consultation for your move. The kind of the process that goes on there is we'll sit down, we'll have an initial sit down. I will find out all your needs. We'll kind of pinpoint the exact needs for your move, and then after that, I'll take a detailed inventory of everything that you have, everything that you need, and I'll give you an estimate right there on the spot. Yeah. And so within an hour, you'll have everything you need to make a decision with JK Moving.
That's great. Thank you so much for being with us. And like that, we're out of time. We are so appreciative of you being with us. Thank you very much, Pam DuBois, DMV Real Estate, Phil Philbin, JK Moving, and have a great week, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. Bye-bye. Push that finish button.
Hey, y'all was worried y'all won't get made.